Congratulations. I'm so glad you are here. We are in for a treat tonight, and we're talking about beauty and brokenness, as well as what to do when we feel like we don't have a story, but we know there are people we're called to help. Please let us know in the chat where you're chiming in from. My name is Bren Harris, and I founded Warrior Moms by Bren when my son was medically injured at 22 months of age. Man, he was just a baby. That's been a while. And we have walked through hell these last 10 years and 10 plus years now. And now we walk through it like we own the place, and we take water back to those still in the fire who may not know how to help themselves and how to help their children. Now, please know you don't need to feel like a warrior, nor do you need to be a special needs parent to apply these principles to your life, because I am here to tell you tonight, hear me, warriors, your story matters. I know. I want you to think of that one thing you thought you would never get through. Remember that thing that felt like a mountain that you would never get around. Maybe it was financial. Maybe it was emotional. Someone broke your heart. Maybe it was at work and you're overlooked for a promotion. I'm here to say, hear me, your story matters, because now that big mountain of a problem is only a speed bump in the rearview mirror because you made it. You're here. Yeah. So if you throw a dart at the middle of the United States, hey guys, good to see you. We have Georgia in the house, Strong Island in the house, Tampa in the house, and Seattle. Great to see you guys. If you throw a dart right in the middle of the U.S. in the States, that's where I am, Oklahoma, and it is freaking cold here. So let us know in the chat what your weather is like. We're kind of sports fans at our house. I usually will do it while I'm on the elliptical or the G board where I can get my balance routine in. And oh, so good to see you guys. Yeah, I'm looking at 3 different screens. Hey guys, New York in the house. Good to see you. Glad you're here. And if you are listening to this on the replay, know that I use American Sign Language. ASL, right here. ASL. That's how my son learns new words since he is diagnosed on the autism spectrum. We do not have autism. We have a diagnosis, level 3, nonverbal, lifelong care. We're like, watch us. We're going to change the world. And I am finding that I really like this phase. I know everyone complains about teenagers. I love it because I've never had the opportunity to watch them be so independent and, nudge the birdie out of the nest as safely as we can. Even though he's giant, he's a giant guy, he's 6'1", he isn't emotionally ready to be completely independent. So we are here to say together we're stronger. Hey guys, good to see you. Georgia, been raining. Oh, cold in Strong Island. Hey, Florida, what's your weather like? Tulsa, cold. Yes. Yeah, right down the turnpike. Glad you guys are here. And I won't claim to have all the answers, but when I say your story matters, I mean it. I mean it. And I am trying to get back to my screen here. Sorry. I'm giving away the punchline there. And we are here to just know, even though it is the holiday, even though it's the holidays, even though it's cold, even though, everyone seems to be taking a break, we're just consistently habit stacking. We've been talking about this all year. This is episode 97. I still can't believe it. And I am loving all the things I'm learning because this stretches me and grows me. And my son was born in Japan. So we're talking a little bit about heritage and a word called kintsugi tonight. And it is one of my favorites. So we'll dive in here. Story. Our ASL signs for tonight. You're going to take the letter F and then kind of open your fingers and put it here. And then you're going to act like you're pulling apart a book. Story. Your story matters. And for the definition, I really want you guys to see this. Your adventure or your memoir. We are not here to say we have to have some grandiose story. I know in church, we feel if somebody has this crazy testimony where they ended up in the gutter on drugs and now they're a preacher, that's a big deal. I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. I'm saying, what's the one thing that you could do without any preparation, whatever that is? And I can tell you right now, I can talk to you about the dangers of vaccines and our medical system declaring war on our children because I've lived it. And I've been that mom in the floor, in the fetal position, sobbing and crying my eyes out. Then I say, okay, that's the what if down. What if I say what if up? The what if up is if my son had never been diagnosed on the autism spectrum, I would have never thought to go gluten-free or be healthy and choose a lifestyle that truly helps me age backwards. It's amazing. It's amazing how we can take our darkest hour and make it not really our holy grail, but our opportunity to become our best self. And hey, guys, good to see you. Yeah, I agree. And people don't really think about it. I am not one to whine about my situation. I want to win through my situation. Now, do I always get this right? No. I am here to say my greatest tragedy has become my global platform, and I will not be silent. And I want you to find your one thing. I don't know if you guys remember this old movie in the 90s, City Slickers. It was Billy Crystal. And they had I just thought that was the first time I recognized tempo and pace and timing for comedy. And I thought it was genius. They would have a really intense moment. And then right after that, it would be a really funny moment. And the crusty old cowboy, Curly, said, "What's your one thing?" So I'm asking you tonight, what's your one thing? It can be your one thing that didn't break you, even though you thought it might. Mine is obviously the story with my son's medical injury. And it might be we've walked up to the school and they've denied us access and we had to get an attorney on the phone to tell them they were breaking the law. Just because someone in a place of authority tells you something doesn't mean it's accurate. Hear me, warriors. That's worth repeating. Just because someone in a position of authority tells you something is so doesn't make it true. And I have friends that battle chronic illnesses. They're not even supposed to be alive, and they're thriving and helping people along the way. No word is final, and that you can make a difference. Listen to that still small voice, but we got to get still. So, your story, we're doing story right here. Take the letter F and open it up, and then, like you're pulling apart the pages of a book. Story, and then matters. Now, in this sense, I'm saying importance. Matters as in important and priceless. So your story is important and priceless. And priceless is the letter F, and you just bring it up, do a circle up. Super easy. Now, I am not an exact English sign language precise or American Sign Language. My son's name's Zach. We jokingly call it Zachanese. We figure out what signs work so that proprioceptive, we're moving our body, and then our brain can make that word. So tonight we've got story and important or matters. Your story matters. I say that on almost every social media post I have. Okay, I'm going to give you a throwback. We've been cleaning out, trying to be intentional throughout this whole year. You guys check out the other episodes. Oh my gosh, it has been crazy what we have found. Yes, just because someone in a position of authority tells you something is so doesn't mean it is accurate. Hear me. Hear me. Just because someone in a position of authority tells you something doesn't mean it's the final word. And we can have a diagnosis, but not have a disease. I know we're splitting hairs. Our body doesn't, and our brain doesn't know the difference. We are speaking as if. Now, let me give you a little history. We were cleaning out, and I found something in my dad's writing, and we lost him almost 12 years ago to cancer. And then I open it up, and it's actually it's actually some senior photos of me. So here you go. This is 30 years ago, people. Right there. Hair was a big deal. Okay. Now you can look at this and go, wow, her hair is funky. Well, no, it was just the season. But if I had never been blessed to have a child that is special needs, I would have never taken my health seriously and literally feel like I'm aging backwards. This is no surgeries. This is all about inside out health, inside out healing, inside out wealth. Because if we don't have our health, it doesn't matter how much money we have. We don't have anything if we don't have our health. And that's where beauty and brokenness comes in. Now, we're going in the Wayback Machine. I think this is in the 1800s. An emperor in Japan shattered one of his favorite handmade pottery bowls. Now, we have all kinds of legends from our 3 years living there. And it was, I mean, such rich history. Oh my gosh. And he sent the bowl back to China to be fixed. And this is what they did. And he was not happy. So this handmade pottery bowl handed down through his family that they'd gotten from, they fixed it in China with ugly metal staples. And the emperor, legend has it, was furious. And it looks terrible and it's unusable now. So he brought it back he kept it in Japan and commissioned all his lieutenants to find a way to fix things beautifully. And that's where we get the word kintsugi. And kintsugi means kin, meaning gold, sugi, meaning joinery, kintsugi, to join with gold. Now, what do I mean by that? I look at that picture, my senior picture, and I'm going, whoo, that's weird that I found those now that I'm so intentional on my health. I am so intentional on my let's walk in purpose, because the more I walk in purpose, the more people stop and ask what I do. Because they're going, what are you doing? Who worked on your face? I'm like, God and healthy nutrition. So it's really important to know that we don't have to look like, those funky, weird Hollywood people to have beauty in our aging, in our richness, in our brokenness. Now, this is what a bowl properly repaired with kintsugi looks like. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my gosh, this bowl just speaks to me. And why is that? Because we're taking this system that's so broken. I refer to our medical system, where if we get well, people, all these medical experts are out of a job. All right. So let's think business sense here. If we're all well, they run out of patients, which they run out of clients, which they can't make the money and buy all these big houses and second houses, etc. So I'm not saying this is medical advice. I'm saying what's worked for us. Kintsugi. We are golden in our brokenness. Now, I have had many injuries. I have multiple fractures on my face from autism rage fits before we knew that Red 40 was a trigger. If you know someone with a special needs child or a child that's really dealing with behavior issues, Red 40 is enemy number one. I have a missing front tooth. I wear a little flipper. And I had, before I knew I was allergic to gluten, I joke with my friends that I could have been the president of a leper colony. I had hives everywhere. And of course it was on my face. I mean, terrible, terrible. And that's been over 10 years ago. And I thought, okay, I'm not going to ask my son to be gluten-free if I'm not going to do it. And then my doctor said, hey, you tested positive for a wheat and gluten allergy. So we're in this together. We just made our household gradually, not everyone's buying in, but gradually made our household a gluten-free household. I know people that do this with red dyes. I mean, we just try not to have anything in our household that can derail my son's progress. Now, I know many people work with people. Yes. Oh, amen. No patience, no business. I completely agree with you, Nettie. And I think our health is more important than anything, because it doesn't matter. You talk to these people. We just went through a hospice episode with our aging relative, and no one on their deathbed talks about their bank balance or their stocks or their bonds. They're talking about, I wish I had spent more time with my family. I wish I had spent more time enjoying life rather than trying to avoid my story and not realizing how important it is. Yes. Because we're living it and we are in the middle of it. So it's really, really hard. It's really hard. Oh, good. Hey, Miranda, good to see you. We've removed all dyes where possible, and my daughter's behavior has changed for the better by leaps and bounds. Thank you, Miranda. Oh, that blesses me. And we think bright food, our primal brain says, oh, that's got to be good. Well, what it is it's petroleum based, and our bodies are not geared to detox petroleum, people. That's what we put in the cars, not in our body. And I know this is a controversial, take what you like, leave the rest, but kintsugi, we are golden in our brokenness, because when we feel broken, if we could do this life on our own, we wouldn't need each other. That's why I'm here to say your story matters. Someone out there needs you to be their drink of water in the desert. Someone needs to know what you've overcome, even if it's just a family issue or something that doesn't really register with you. You have a story, and it matters because your story is important. And I resisted this for years. It took me years. I think we were probably 5 or 6 years into our journey before I even said this on social. Our story of medical injury and our story of disaster. Because I mean, we had this amazing, bright young baby, hitting all his milestones and ahead of schedule and 97th percentile on height and all of this. And then boom, at 22 months, we did the scheduled vaccines and everything went to hell in a handbasket. Yeast overgrowth created problems with his ears, and he ended up blowing both eardrums and had to have those reconstructed. I thought I was doing the right thing. Now, first of all, hear me, especially if you are a mom that may have experienced something similar. We made the right decision with the best information we had at the time. Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. I know a friend that has a chronic illness. They're saying you got to get vaccinated. You got to get vaccinated. Now, today, there's a peer-reviewed study out of Korea, 1.7 million people. That vaccine causes the exact chronic illness she has. So we're learning as we go. And I am always about who says, what's the workaround? Who says, and what's the workaround? Because that's where willpower will never outdo your community. Lock arms with people. And we'd love to have you lock arms with us. I wasn't able to tell my story for almost 6 years because I was too in the weeds. I was drowning in it, literally, because I was in survival mode. And then when I got a mentor and finally understood, hey, there's other people that have been through this. For us, autism spectrum, 1 in 36. 20 years ago, that was 1 in 10,000. There's a correlation. And we don't have to agree to work together. We don't have to agree or get along to be civil to one another. We can always agree to disagree. But I'm here to say, oh yeah, do your research on the vaccines. Yes, absolutely. And what I encourage people to do, a mentor told me this past week. She sat down and looked at every single vaccine that's required and said, okay, if I'm not going to do this, the measles, that's simply a virus. Okay, the mumps, that's simply a virus. The whooping cough, well, that one kind of concerns me. So I need to have a battle plan. So if whooping cough shows up, I know how to nip it in the bud. Our medicine cabinet looks like an apothecary's shop. I have everything that we need should there be an apocalypse or should there be some kind of outbreak of something, because I am here to say you are not going to fearmonger me into making bad decisions for my child ever again. You guys, thank you so much for being here. I know your time is valuable. And remember, your story, we got our little ASL, is important and it matters. And be authentic, legendary, and unapologetically you. Warriors, unite.